Hey, it's your girl Gayle Queen with the Q Chat podcast. Thank you for tuning in to our latest episode. Before we get started, I want to give you some information on how you can grab some Q Chat merchandise. Go to www.goqueen.com and there you can purchase any Q Chat merchandise or any of my Go Love Yourself tees. So go ahead, take a look at the website and feel free to grab some merchandise today. There's something else I want to fill you guys in on. If you haven't heard, Anchor is the hottest and easiest way to make a podcast. It's the best price in the world, free. So go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And just remember, Anchor distributes your podcast to all streaming platforms. It's super simple. So go ahead and sit back and get ready to listen to the next episode of the Q Chat. But don't forget, go to www.goqueen.com and grab some merchandise. Thank you for tuning in and get ready to listen in. Go Queen! Hello, so we're doing our new segment of the Q Chat where we go over current events. So I have my good friend Courtney on the line. Say hello, Courtney.
Hello. Happy Friday.
Yes, TGIF. So we're actually going to get right to it. We're going to shoot straight for it. So the first thing, of course, that is trending this week, everyone is still reeling over the death of Kobe Bryant. It's still extremely shocking and just a very sad thing. But of course, the thing that is trending right now is Gayle King. So this infamous interview that she did with Lisa Leslie, oh my God, where she went ahead and brought up, the incident in Colorado. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of journalists have touched on it literally since moments after his death was announced. So right now, of course, she's experiencing a lot of backlash. She's even getting death threats. I mean, Snoop, my God, if anyone, he had a lot to say. So, I'll let you start off, Courtney, with that. It's just a lot. So I'll let you start off on your thoughts on that before I chime in.
Well, I think I have maybe an unpopular opinion. Because I'm not as mad at Gayle as other folks. I guess I'm kind of mad in a way. But I think that I respect her profession as a journalist, is something that I aspire to. And it is the nature of that beast. So I'm not mad at her for asking about it. I think the way the clip was, I'm not comfortable with how she seemed to continue to go after Lisa Leslie in particular, because I don't feel that Lisa Leslie should have to answer for Kobe's sins, whether you believe he has, if he has them or not. It wasn't for Lisa Leslie to answer to. So one question, okay, maybe a probe question after that, that's good journalism. Then I think she should have just moved on. However, I think sometimes, we as human beings, we are very extra. And cancel Gayle and Oprah, oh Lord, they in blackface and all of that. I just was like, okay, people, okay, we could just get this angry when Pookie killed Ray Ray instead of talking about free Ray Ray. We might be on to something, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, my only thing with it, I think, is the way she seemed to pursue Lisa for it. But just asking, I didn't have a problem with that at all. I think that's her job. That's what she does. And I don't see how anybody expected, much less than that.
So here's my take. Number one, I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. I did not agree with her bringing it up. However, she is a journalist. That's one thing I think that everyone has forgotten about. A journalist is not going to ask everything that a person wants to hear. So that portion,
Mm-hmm.
I do give her that. Now, from my personal standpoint, a moral standpoint, do I agree with her asking a grieving friend who, if you notice, she kept referring to Kobe in the present tense as I can't even imagine. You know, she had a close relationship with him. Do I agree with Gayle asking, number one, his close friend who's grieving this man that has not been gone a good 2 weeks, anything about that? Absolutely not. I didn't think that was not the right forum to bring it up, period. They could have did a separate segment to even bring up his sexual assault, period. Because here's the thing, a lot of people are going in on Gayle. Other journalists have done this already in the past week. Have they received the same vitriol? I can't necessarily say. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm not knocking her doing her job as a journalist. I do have the issue with her asking Lisa Leslie, who was there to talk about her friend who she's mourning. I just felt like that was unnecessary. It shouldn't have been brought up at all. Now, one thing for her to bring it up when she first said, well, do you think this is going to tarnish his legacy? Okay, if she wanted to ask Lisa Leslie that, okay, fine. You know, even I felt that it just really took her off guard. Once she said her
Mm-hmm.
initial answer, I felt like it should have been left alone. My thing that turned my stomach was when, you know, this poor woman, she's like, well, you know, I never saw that. He just wasn't that type of person. When Gayle threw in, well, you wouldn't have seen that. That's where it just went too far south at that point. And that's the part where I can't really give her any credit, where she's like, well, CBS didn't tell you to go that far. That's the only thing. I just kind of want her to take some ownership on it. But let me break this apart even further. Let me unpack it. So another portion of this is how we disagree with one another. So like I said, I'm one of the people that actually I don't agree with her interview. Do I necessarily agree with the way it's being handled now from the public? No, I don't think it's necessary that she's getting death threats. She's being called a doghead bitch, like Snoop said. I mean, she's literally being threatened. That is taking it on an
Mm-hmm.
entirely different level because, once again, we can throw race in this. These white journalists have done this over these past few days. They have brought up his sexual assault situation in Colorado. I didn't see, you know, our people Snoop and everybody else threaten those people and call them out their name. I didn't see that. So another
Right.
piece of
Mm-hmm.
it, and I just watched an awesome video from she's a blogger, Awesome Lovey, and she brought up a very good point that I thought about like right before we started recording. I'm like, this makes sense. She's like, well, is it an issue where people just don't respect black women? Because it's, you
Mm-hmm.
know, Gayle said what she had to say, and now her life's being threatened. She's been called out her name. There's the memes going around about her appearance. And Awesome Lovey brought up an awesome point. She's like, and this goes back to when we did our podcast last week when we brought up Tyler Perry. She's like, you know, if someone has an issue with like a male, they're not coming at them with that same venom. And that was an awesome point. They'll
Mm-hmm.
just bring up the issue at hand, but they don't attack them as a person. So
Absolutely.
listening to that made me really think harder because, once again, like I said, I don't agree with her interview. I just felt it was insensitive for a lot of reasons. But she's a doghead bitch now. She's getting death threats. You know, that's where we need to reel it back a little bit because just last week it was Girl Dad. We were celebrating certain things. Now this week a black
Right.
woman is getting torn to bits. And like I said, I'll say it for the fourth, fifth time. I did not agree with what she said. Do I agree with her being ripped to shreds like this? No. And like we need to have that same energy for other things then. And I know that same energy is not directed to certain people or, you know, or just certain insults that come from other races. It's just not the same. So I just really think that
Mm-hmm.
some people who have taken this far should step back a bit, you know, and
And I think it's symptomatic of an issue that that touches on not only Gayle's situation but her friend Oprah's situation, and we talked about it a little bit before, the silencing of the black woman. Every time you go to tell a black woman's story or she opens her mouth, you get called all kind of stuff. You get cussed out. You're not supporting the black man. Look how she's acting, and it's, you know. And I take that with, you know, Oprah's support of the Russell Simmons accusers, and the Steve Harvey accusers. It's just like, you know, how dare she? You know, but when you think about it, how dare she take up for black women and give them a voice? Because people go on and on about, oh, well, where's the Harvey Weinstein, you know, documentary? First of all, do your homework. Just Google the Harvey Weinstein documentary, and there are tons. You don't watch them, or you haven't heard about them, or you didn't see them, because a lot of times you don't gravitate towards the things of people that don't look like you or that aren't in your immediate view. So you probably came across a Harvey Weinstein ad and went right on about it, about your business, because they had one on him as early as about 13 years ago. So anyway, I say that to say, though, you could look at that situation and say, you know what, where are the stories about the black girls? You know, they paraded white women on 2020 about Bill Cosby up and down, and included a few sisters just because they were in the mix. You know, they paraded them up and down about the yoga instructor. You know, their stories get told. And I think, you know, whether it's Gayle or whether it's Oprah, there's something about the silencing of black women in a very vicious way that just sickens me, and it's usually from us. It's usually from us to us.
That's an awesome point, and it's a vicious circle, because you're right. It's from us, particularly black men, and it's a vicious circle. Black women can't have a voice. We should be able to say something whether you agree with it or not, and not be completely crucified.
Absolutely.
That's a problem. Okay. And it would be one thing if, as I mentioned before, that same venom was given towards everybody when they say something that, you know, isn't the popular air quote opinion. But it's not. When a sister says something that is unpopular or people don't like, oh my God, she's a bitch, she's this, let's bring out her appearance, let's talk about her hair. What value is this bringing? You know, we want to talk about journalists that have said insulting things, and I'm going to say for the billionth time, I didn't agree with what Gayle said. However, Megyn Kelly has said some very offensive things. I didn't see one video.
Lauren.
Hell, Tommy Lauren especially. I haven't seen one video where they're called bitches, where their appearance is torn apart, where they've received death threats from, you know, and I'm not saying they haven't received death threats, because that's, I think some journalists experience things like that, but I'm saying as spotlighted as it's happened now, or as open, you know, I haven't seen these videos from these particular stars that should be more angry at them. I haven't seen that. So that's why I have such...
and I find it interesting, too, that people will always paint black women in this chasing clout light, or like somebody said, trying to stay relevant. Honey, Gayle King is an anchor on the top-rated morning news show in the country. That girl is not trying to get it. She got it. Maybe the dude who got on his IG with a scarf on, calling folk out their name, is trying to stay relevant. Because when's the last time you heard from him? You know, like, it's so funny to me that they always paint us in a hungry, thirsty light. You know, even when you've arrived, you've not arrived. So many people talking about she just trying to stay relevant. Trying to stay relevant. Do you know the contract this woman negotiated with CBS? Like, it just, there's nothing we can do, I feel sometimes, to arrive. We're always trying. We're always chasing. We're always trying to be this, that, and the third. It doesn't really get bigger than what Gayle King is doing from a journalist standpoint. Ask anybody who aspires to do this, and they will probably trade places with her, you know. And I just have a problem with us always being painted as never having truly or made it, when actually we have.
I totally agree. But one thing too, like, So I know, like everyone, Oprah got a lot of flack too with the whole Finding Neverland thing, and of course, she was originally going to do the doc on Russell Simmons. So we're in cancel culture, so culture pretty much canceled her or whatever. I get that part. It was kind of weird, where it's like Oprah didn't have anything to do with Gayle's decisions over these past few days. But like now
Right.
she's getting vilified too. It's like it's a 2-for-1 special. I mean, it's just sad. And then a third piece of this is, it's probably because a lot of us, we can't process this death, number one. So I think everyone is just
Mhm.
reeling and doesn't know how to grieve, because some of these people, yeah, some of them knew him, whether they were close with him. Some of these celebrities, that let's be honest, some of these celebrities may not even have really had a relationship with him. Quite frankly, they may have
And
just had
tell
as
me
much
about it.
access to
One
him.
picture does not a friendship make.
Exactly. So they probably had as much access to him as you and I did, But
Mhm.
a third piece, I looked at it, some of it, some of them are extra upset because they are hurt and upset. Like I said, the way that he passed away is very shocking. It's sad. But this is starting to spiral in a really bad way, because at the end of the day,
Mhm.
like, I was writing on Instagram yesterday about this, and like I said, for the 50th time, I didn't agree with what she did. However, we got to look at something else. A mother just lost her husband and daughter. A 17-year-old just watched her sister's entire lifespan. A 3-year-old right
Mhm.
now, I'm sure she's asking for her father and sister regularly. She's too young to process this. A baby that's under
Right.
a year old will 9 out of 10 not have zero recollection of her father or sister. And we got to realize this is real life right now. We got
Mhm.
to be more sensitive to this family that's grieving, and kind of put a lot of this aside. At the end of the day, perhaps a lot of this wouldn't even happen if these journalists perhaps back off a little bit and stop looking at this as a hot story, and say, hey,
True.
let's kind of step back and let this family grieve. Mind you, these people haven't even been memorialized or buried. So we all got to be more responsible. These journalists, just
Absolutely.
imagine if this wasn't just another piece to put on the news, because that's the world we live in too. This isn't a hot story. This is someone's life, and that's another way to look at it. Like, maybe everyone needs to step back. Even, like this ABC News anchor, which I was furious with him, the one who said, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but the one who said that, and I can look it up while we're talking, the one that made his stupid mistake of reporting that all four of those children had passed away, which was absolutely
Yeah.
irresponsible. Everyone wanted to jump on a story, and and this is something that's literally just coming to me as we're talking. A lot of this also is because everyone wants to jump on a story. Everyone wants to run and get the next interview, or get to his friend so we can have a story. Let's step back for a
Mhm.
second. Perhaps, like I said, if this wasn't looked at as a hot story, maybe this wouldn't have even happened, and
Right.
we
Right.
wouldn't have all this fighting, tearing people down. Because I'm looking right now, I'm really curious as to how this is going to die down. Will this ever? Because they're still attacking Oprah from Finding Neverland. How many years ago was that? Maybe 2 years
I know.
ago. But so poor Gayle. I mean, I don't know when this is gonna die down. Like I said, I don't agree with what she did, but do I like hate the woman? Absolutely not. I mean, Gayle King is a journalist, and I even read the other day, someone was like, "Well, she was even out of line and disrespectful during the R. Kelly interview." How was she
Now, come
disrespectful during the
on.
R. Kelly interview? Are you kidding me? When he was getting up screaming and spitting in her face, what? A freaking
And this
child
is
molester?
why I think people have to, or Gail especially, and if she's, heartbroken right now, or feeling bad because of the backlash, I get it, but she gonna have to toughen up, because one day they sing your praises. Ooh, Gail handled that. That's what I remember when the R. Kelly thing was fresh. Oh, she handled that. Oh, this is me all 2020. Using her face as a
She's
meme for that.
unbothered. Remember, it was
And
like, oh,
right
look,
after
she's
that,
unbothered. Look how she
you down
handled
to
it.
a dog
She's
face bitch.
unbothered. I just,
Absolutely. So you really got to kind of toughen your skin up if you're her, and know that the mob will love you one day and hate you the next. It's the nature of what you do. I'm sure I know Oprah got the tough skin by now. Oprah don't be a bit more bothered. At
I
least I
doubt,
hope not.
I doubt
You know,
highly that Oprah goes to sleep at night with her billions, worrying about what people said about her on some Instagram. I doubt highly.
tell me about it.
When she rolls over on her, $1,000 bills that she probably sleeps on. I don't think she's giving a crap about. Oh well, someone said this about me. However, I, it is, and like I said, and I've said this repeatedly. This is coming from a person that didn't agree with her. Just to see how far it's gone, it's pretty shocking. And I just been taking it
Mm-hmm.
in. Even the Breakfast Club, they had people call in about it today. It's because they brought up the same subject. Like, okay, we all saw the interview. Clearly, everyone has their opinion on it. However, doesn't need to go this far, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
problem. I just have a sad feeling on how it's going this far. Death
Absolutely.
threats, attacking her appearance. Why are black women automatically ugly? And that's something that we
Child.
can literally have an entire separate episode on. Why are we automatically ugly?
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
we say the
And
wrong thing, we
when
ugly. You
at the
know.
end of the day, the beauty standard is set by us. They want bigger lips, bigger hips, bigger butts. They're almost dying to get it. And we got it all naturally, but somehow it doesn't look good on us.
But
I
we
don't get it.
automatically ugly. And then on top of that, we're ugly from our own people first.
Tell
Our
me about
own
it.
black males first. What does her appearance have to do with this? I just wish we could,
Mm-hmm.
I wish we could disagree with one another in a healthy manner. Is my biggest
Mm-hmm.
takeaway from this. If we could just do that, it would be a little different. I don't know, because I'm trying to put myself in her shoes right now. If the whole world was going in this hard, I don't know. Like, we do live in cancel culture, so I don't know. It's a tough one, but at the end of the day, a lot of things could have been done differently. And I'll say it
Mm-hmm.
again, if we all would just step back for a second and understand this is, at the end of the day, someone's brother, husband, father, real friend,
Mm-hmm.
okay, not just someone who may have went to one of his games or, and that
Tell me
Hollywood
about it.
lifestyle, but I'm talking about his real true friends, Lisa Leslie, for
Mm-hmm.
example. Let these people grieve. They shouldn't even interview her as far as I'm concerned. This is not the time for this. Just let everyone
Right.
grieve, especially close friends like that, because another takeaway from that interview was just looking in her eyes when she talked about him in present tense. It's not even, she's still grieving. I mean, it's just happened.
Again.
So she
Mm-hmm.
can't understand that her friend is gone. So it just was inappropriate, and I'm sure the goal was, okay, we're gonna have this interview. Let's say some positive things about him. I don't know. So that's where CBS comes in. I don't know, because I can't be a fly on that wall. But everything is just wrong about all of this. Everyone needs to step back now. So I
And
hope.
I will say that Gayle brought up at least I think one good point in her, because I didn't watch her whole apology thing, because had it been me, I wouldn't have done it. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I said what I said. That's the type of person I am. But one thing she did say was, you all realize that you're looking at a clip, and I think it is important that people get context around stuff, because we will take 3 seconds, we will take a picture, we will take a blurry video and go all off on a tangent. Now, the full interview hadn't even aired yet, and Snoop Dogg and Boosie and everybody else has dragged her for filth over a clip. You
Well,
know,
I will say, from the peanut gallery of people who didn't agree with it. The problem though with that clip, and that may be something between Gail and editing and CBS. The problem though was when she asked her about the sexual assault. and Lisa Leslie, who I think was caught off guard, but she still handled the question very eloquently. The problem, though, and I think what certain people was taken aback by, me included, was when she said, I wouldn't see him do that type of thing. And she goes, well, you wouldn't have seen it. That's where the record skipped. So once again, I just wish that interview just had never taken place. It just, I don't know, it just shouldn't have happened. It's too soon. It's just way too soon. And all of this could have been avoided. At least let them bury him and this poor child first, and these other families. I don't even think the other families have had any memorials yet. I know they're all planning everything. And of course, it was announced today
Yeah, I
that
think the
Kobe and
first one is
Gianna.
this weekend.
Okay, well, see, that's what I'm saying. Let's, once again, this also goes to the good and bad side of journalism, too, right? I know this is a hot story, but I don't know. This just needs to be left alone for at least a few more weeks. And there may be anti-journalism, like, okay, a hot story has to be taken care of when it's a hot story. But first of all, this isn't going away anytime soon. No one's going to just automatically get over this anytime soon. Everyone needs to step back. And like I said, a lot of this could have been avoided. Maybe Gayle wasn't prepared for what to ask, and I'm not excusing anything with her, actually, but I'm trying to make sense of this because this is just absolutely spiraled. And it's one thing, like I said, I didn't agree with her, but now it's like it's turned into a big, huge fireball because now we got death threats coming. When the death threats are coming, that's when we all got to step back, because even people who are upset, even like Snoop, I personally don't want. We live in a world where who knows, someone could be like, oh, well, let's press some charges against him because he said that, which I personally don't want to happen to him. So I'm just saying we all need to be quiet and calm down and think first. Every single person involved, like maybe Gayle should have thought more before she said, well, you wouldn't have seen it. That was too much for me. We all need to just sit back, and like when Snoop said, oh, well, you better watch out and I'm paraphrasing, before we come see you. Boo. You can't say that in the video. I love you, dog. Like, I love you, Snoop, for real. But you can't
see nothing. You get your nails manicured and you eat at Nobu every
But
day.
I'm just saying on Let's Be Smart, though. He has gang affiliations. You got to watch saying that on a video, because I'm just saying it could be taken. That could go to a different level. And we don't need that. We all need to just leave it alone now. Like, this is too much.
Right.
Because it's not necessary. Like, no one needs to go to jail. No one needs to threaten people's life. We need to just take a step back, because this is going too far.
This morning interview, and it's so funny to me that I know over half the people that's all up in arms have never even watched that show, have no inkling to watch it.
No,
it's not even in their wheelhouse to watch, and now all of a sudden, here we go.
I agree. I'm sure several of them don't watch CBS News in the morning. Come on, it comes on early. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of those people are at work or sleeping or whatever. I'm sure they don't even watch it.
Tell me about it.
Some of the social media gangsters, and I'm not speaking of the celebrities, that have claimed that they're his friend, but how we got the little nothing and nobodies. People are bullies behind those keys. People like that probably haven't even watched a Lakers game. But everyone wants to join the bandwagon, and this is just getting crazy, so I don't know. But at the end of the day, like I said, there's a family grieving, and this is just a waste of energy at the end of the day, and it's really unfortunate that this is taking place, because this is getting more news now than Kobe, than Gianna, than the Altabellis, than these other people that have lost their lives, than Vanessa Bryant. Like, this is getting more steam than what we need to think about. So, it's very unfortunate, and I'm interested to see how this is going to die down for everyone involved. It's right now, do I think it's going to die down anytime soon? I don't know, because this has become ridiculous. And once again, the extra problems with this is because black women are public enemy number one, which that's going to be some. I think I've thought of at least 3 more episodes while we're talking,
Right.
which we can, me and you can organize after this is over, because unfortunately a lot of this is just, we're gonna put this black woman on the stake too. We're gonna put nail it to the cross. Whenever a black woman says anything wrong or doesn't conform, she's got to be nailed to a cross. Like I said, I didn't agree with her, but I'm not thinking about her hair or she's ugly, she's a dog. I mean, why do we have to
Or
go
we
there?
need to come see you and all this other kind of
Right,
mess.
we don't have to go that route, because I've never heard our people, air quotes, threaten Tammy Lauren or Megan Kelly or so many other people that have disrespected us front ways
And
and
culture.
sideways.
Jeez.
Oh, exactly. I've never heard them be threatened under this manner. So it's just a lot to unpack. So just to switch to a lighter topic. So, of course, which I will say, as someone that bled black and gold, someone who, when the Saints won their Super Bowl, who actually, I was misty. I swear I thought I was going to start crying. I was very salty. I will confess this on this episode. I was extremely salty. I was like, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. I was one of those bitter people who was like, I don't care who wins. I really wanted it to be the first Super Bowl in history where no one won. But that's just me and my bitterness, okay? Because my
I
Saints
got
weren't
you.
there. However, of course, the other hot topic that has trended all week has been the Super Bowl halftime show, and Jennifer Lopez and Shakira putting on this awesome halftime show. But of course, it did not come without controversy. People had issues with Jennifer Lopez was on the pole, and they were half naked, and then they had people who were just being racist. Actually, like, why was this so? People were like, why was it so Mexican? Even though this woman's from Puerto Rico, but people were just being ignorant, saying it was too Spanish. I mean, come on. So that there's even this guy who he has, I think he has a podcast too, actually. He's suing. He said he's going to sue for several $trillions. And those were, like, I think his exact words, because he felt he was
Lord.
exposed to pornography during this
Oh,
Super Bowl.
Lord.
Now, the funny thing is, I feel like this actually ties kind of to some points we brought up about the whole Gayle King issue. Women just can't be great. We can't live our best life. That's all it is. I mean, this woman is 50 years old. I mean, if God says so, I'll be 43 in April. Let these women live. Shakira had a birthday the day afterwards. I think she made like 41, 42. Can we live? Like, I want to, let me quote G-Eazy. Can we live? So, what did you think about it, Courtney?
Well, the funny thing to me that, and sometimes what you hear about something will shape your experience with it. So I heard Lady Gaga throw some shade to the girls, and in her concert that took place the night before the Super Bowl, Lady Gaga said, "Okay, J-Lo and Shakira, let's make sure our mics are off tomorrow. Love you."
Oh,
And
wow.
so that shaped my whole experience with that. And for me, it wasn't so much about the outfit as it was, well, are the mics on? And they clearly weren't. So, for that, I'm going to take points for that. As far as I could really see an issue with the outfits, I thought they looked great. I thought they danced great. I thought they looked just like every other pop R&B star, any concert, at any award show. There was one crop shot from J-Lo that I was like, ooh. But other than that, and she kind of thrust it forward, and it was barely covered, but okay, it was covered. But other than that, I don't know. It's kind of weird because I do understand that there are young children staying up late to watch, when they normally may not. Well, first of all, they don't really air halftime. But second of all, like, I get that, and they're ripping off clothes in the pool, and it's not like, I have to say I get certain extent, but I think it's also the way you frame it, and you can't need explain, that and they come from a Latin culture, it's about fun, it's a movement, and you can reframe it if need be. But if you're sitting there like, oh my God, they look like that, and then that's what the kids are going to take on. They usually take on what ingest or give to them, and they digest that rather than them think, off without any prompting, oh, they look like, strippers or something like that. There is a subplot of, like we've been talking about, but when it's black women, now mind you, yes, Shakira and J-Lo got their backlash, but they also got a lot of support, However, when it was Janet,
they really wanted to destroy Janet after that, actually, and that was a mistake.
They tore Beyonce up. She had on nothing but, a swimsuit and blah, 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 and butts everywhere and yada, yada, yada. She got her backlash, too. But there was this level of support, J-Lo and Shakira. Now, mind you, they are not white. However, they look more the part.
Of course.
So they got a little more of the support.
Of course.
But I just, it is what it is. It's Miami. These are people to me who aren't well traveled, or at least haven't been to Miami. Because if you've been to Miami, you would know that you got to speak Spanish to get to make your way through everyday life. So the culture is rich in Miami. It made sense. My own thing is where the mic's on, honey. Where the mic's on.
Well, let me say about that, and no offense to anyone, but when we talk about singing, come on, are we really putting J-Lo in that category? I'm so upset that they had to do the Motown tribute last year. We're not even talking about this year's Grammy, so I didn't expect anything out of her singing wise. I never do. No offense to anybody. Sorry to this woman. Sorry to this woman. I'm not trying to throw any shade. I'm just stating the facts, ma'am. But I would never think of any. I definitely wasn't expecting her to belt out anything, So it is what it is. And I get it, it's Miami. So, of course, they wanted, to keep with that Latin culture, because like I said, I don't put her in the category of singing anyway. She's a performer, and oh my God, I can list so many others who to me are performers. I don't list them as singers. So that's the only thing, which it doesn't shock me when she just, went up there. What did she even need a mic? It was completely lip sync. So it's just like, hey, I wasn't expecting anything out of her with that. So
other than what she can do.
Right. And quite frankly, I haven't been really awed by a Super Bowl performance in a while. Like Lady Gaga's was cool. Justin Timberlake's
I think it's Prince for me.
Right, exactly. And Prince, no one can hold a candle to Prince to me. Like Prince does everything. And they were still talking about Prince's performance last week, just how it's one of the best, which it was. And I'm a Justin Timberlake fan. I actually went to his concert when he came down here to New Orleans. But was I dying over his Super Bowl performance? No, I wasn't. Because I don't know. And I think a lot of people, they are under pressure during those performances too, possibly. Because the Super Bowl is like a huge event. So I don't know, but the Super Bowl halftime show, it just doesn't awe me in general anyway. If you're not Prince up there singing in the rain, I don't really care. But that's just my cynicism. I don't expect everyone to agree with that. But hey, that's just me.
I did want to shout them out for their political statements, though. When the kids started singing and they were in cages to symbolize,
these poor children,
kids in the camps.
Right.
Shout out to them for that. Shout out to them for going against Hove, who he's real close to being canceled. And I love him, but you keep on playing with me. Hove told them don't do it. They did it anyway. And then he came with the whole, now we weren't sitting in protest. He started real big, he started to to me.
right. So at the end of the day, I'll still give them their props. It was still girl power at the end of the day. So I'll give them that. But, once again, I don't. The Super Bowl halftime show, and like I said, I'm biased because I was bitter. So it's just like, whatever. It's my thing. But I think but you know what? I just missed someone who actually did do an awesome Super Bowl performance, and that was Bruno Mars. I love Bruno Mars, and he did an
Yeah,
awesome Super Bowl performance. And I just
he
thought about that. I
did.
want to
He
say,
did.
actually, wasn't that the year, I want to say the 49ers, or was it one of those teams? I want to say the 49ers, ironically, was playing that year. They didn't win, but I could have sworn that was a Super Bowl. Yeah, because Richard Sherman, all these other people, but that's another story. I'm trying to think. Was it the Seahawks? I can't remember, but I want to say the Seahawks or maybe the 49ers, but I'm getting slightly off topic. But I remember I got to give Bruno his props. He did an awesome Super Bowl performance too. So, but I
He
also
did.
like
He did.
musicians, who play instruments and they're singing. So, like I said, I'm going to be partially, different with, but she's an entertainer. She entertained. I'll give her that. So,
And I think the big Super Bowl performance is going to suffer because you don't really have artists like that anymore. These artists live off of a whole different set of success. It's Instagram likes and it's posts and it's a song here and there, but the full package to put on a full display for something like that, I don't really feel like these artists do that these days. Like, they may put on concerts, but the Super Bowl halftime is much more than just a concert. And when you have these iconic artists, Beyonce and Michael and Prince and Madonna, and you don't really have that anymore. Like, I don't see a lot of people in today's music being able to carry that. I think the last of that breed is maybe Rihanna if she decides to give it to him. She said in protest she wasn't going to. Maybe Tay-Tay. But who
hmm
else? I mean, in this current generation gives you that, can give an iconic performance. I don't know. I think you're going to have to you're going to see more double and triple ups. It's going to have to be Cardi and he goes and such as and such and such. Because I just don't think any one of them on their own to deliver the type of iconic performance that the Super Bowl halftime requires.
I think if I had to look at someone up and coming, or and put some money on it, I would put money on Lizzo. I could see her tearing this up in like a year or two or whatever. Now, you know, I could, and Rihanna, of course, Rihanna could set the Super Bowl on fire, but I give her 100% props for saying I'm not doing that, in respect for Cap, because I'm one of
Right,
the people who actually, I
right.
boycotted the Super Bowl for 2 years. So, I mean, the NFL for 2 years. So,
Me too. Me
I
too.
100% give her props for that. So, just on the strength of that, I'm cool with her not performing. Just to stick to her political convictions. But I
Right,
know she would
right.
definitely. Because one thing about Rihanna,
Give you
she's not just an
everything.
entertainer. I'm a Rihanna fan, so like I could see her putting on a good show.
Oh, I'm a Rihanna stan.
Right, but I know she's not going to do it. I don't think there's anything, because I still have mixed feelings about the NFL, honestly.
Me
I
too.
mean, I
Me
had
too.
mixed feelings when I decided to start watching football again, and I'm still torn with it because I don't know. Cap, that's a whole different subject, but I love Colin
Hmm.
Kaepernick, and people could cancel me for saying that. I don't care. Like he had every right to do it. He did. Everything he said was correct. If you look at the
Absolutely.
news every single day, everything he said was true. Okay, and that's
Hmm.
the culture we live in. Our lives don't matter. And like I said, that's another subject where I could go on for probably 10 hours, but I'd give him 100% respect, and he just is an awesome crusader, and it's wrong how they handled that, and but that's a whole different subject where I can go on about that. We'll never get done.
Right.
So like I said, I still have mixed feelings about watching in the NFL, which I actually don't. I normally just watch Saints games. I don't necessarily watch other games per se. When I do, it's only because I may be around it. But the Saints were honestly the reason I started watching NFL again, and they had some really good seasons when I was protesting, and I did not even watch those games. I relied on other people to tell me what happened. Did they win?
Right.
How was it? Because I was dead serious. Like, I'm not watching it. But the only reason I kind of got more comfortable and I'm like, okay, I guess I can still support him and watch it was when he started doing like the Nike commercials and they were like kind of airing them at different times. I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll start watching. But at the end of
Right.
the day, they
And
haven't
someone
changed.
else gave me a perspective on that. That was like, for all of the flaws and you can call it, just very messed up ways of the NFL, it still makes a lot of little black boys' dreams come true.
Right.
And enables them to do things for themselves and their families that they just would have had a very hard time to do, otherwise. And, it's only because of that little piece. Now, mind you, I hate that in essence you say that, but they still are used as commodity, and somebody is still making money hand over fist off of them and their talent. But at the end of the day, that still is true, and there are guys that will tell you, had it not been for football, and, you can say the same about basketball, I'm sure, I don't know where I would be. I don't know where my family would be. I don't know who I'd be, what type of person I'd be. And, it does give me a little something. I hate that some of us think we can only rap or play ball, but the light in the eye of the person who has it as the dream, you can't dismiss it. When people have a dream and it consumes them and there's a true outcome they see for it, you don't want to take that away. And so that's one of the only reasons why I said, okay, and because for me, I stopped watching the games, and then I found myself, watching draft night and watching the tears, watching the mamas, the single mothers, too many of them, and it'd be the light at the end of the tunnel they've been waiting on. And see, that type of stuff will always pull my heartstrings.
And that's
So,
totally understandable.
I kind of got dragged back into it from that emotional standpoint.
And that makes sense. Speaking of the NFL and the Super Bowl, something else that came up last week was so of course the Kansas City, Missouri, that's shade at the Cheeto in Chief. They won the Super Bowl and Travis Kelce, he got a lot of attention because he is dating a sister. So I ran across a story the other day that said he lost about 1 million followers, but he also gained the same amount. So the thing that amazes me is we are still cringing over interracial relationships. Really, it's 2020. It is 2020. Okay, so. And I'm an equal opportunist. So really, like, we really still tripping over this. Like, we need to let it go. But,
Here's my thing.
but you know what? I got to stop you 1 second because I just thought of something. Courtney, we got to do a whole lot. We got to do like 10 more episodes. You know what? This is about black women again. It just dawned on me. Like, I had to cut you off for a second. You notice that, and if you disagree, of course, this is what we're here for. Why is it when a black woman dates a white man, it seems like it's not as acceptable as when a brother date outside his race? I feel like that's why it was a little extra shock with this. How many NFL players, NBA players have spouses, these male players who have spouses who aren't black? Come on, most of them? Why is this even getting any attention that he's dating outside of his race? Oh, because he's with a sister.
And if you've ever seen Travis Kelce walk, dance, talk, move, I really want him to do his 23andMe because he got more than a drop.
Well, that's what I heard. I heard he could definitely lead the electric slide at the next cookout. That's what I heard. His potato salad probably would taste better than mine.
I'm mad at the number of sisters that just found out how fine he was. He's damn fine.
He is fine. I'm
like
sorry.
and maybe having a husband who is just really into sports. Like I watched sports on my own, but he took it to another level. So I'm always watching sports, and of course, yeah, I watch the games. Yeah, I watch the commentary, but you get to looking at other stuff since it's on. And I've been peeped Mr. Kelce.
He's very easy on the eyes.
He's very
Oh
easy.
yes.
On the
So
eyes. And I hear that, they're petitioning to dub him the sexiest man in the NFL ever.
ooh well, yikes. Ooh, I don't know. I mean, he's sexy,
I
but
know, right?
oh
The
god.
jury's out on that one.
That would be really hard. I would literally have to see a picture of every single man that's played in the NFL first and give me about, some dim lights and a glass of wine and some candlelight,
And then
right,
really
for me
hash
to,
it out.
right, let me scroll some incense and let me scroll through every picture first, not taking anything away from him because he is very attractive. I'm sorry, he is. So, but the sexiest man, I don't know. Maybe currently, I mean, even though there's some other sexy ones, trust me. But and I'm single, so I can look all I want. But no. I mean, I don't know about the sexiest one, but hey, I mean, I can put him in. I would see him in the race for it for sure.
That's why I said he's definitely up there.
He deserves that. I mean, I won't take that away from him, not at all, because he's very attractive. I just need people to stop being shocked over interracial relationships, and I also need to stop them to stop being shocked when it's a sister
It's kind of
that
like
stepped
raise
out.
your hand if you've never dated out your race.
My hands are down.
All of y'all need to go try it and get out of our face. Like, come on now.
My hands are down. I can't raise them, and as I stated,
Right.
I'm an equal
You raise your hand
opportunist.
if you haven't been with a white boy, Come on now.
Hey, I mean, I just feel like we need to get over it. It's just we've come too far for us to worry about the race of who someone is dating. I just think it's so
Right.
insignificant. Like, who cares? It's like, why do we care? But once again, I feel like it's a little extra when it's a sister that's
Mm-hmm.
stepping out. That's when people can't handle it. Because black men been doing this for a long time and no one says anything. And a lot of them do it exclusively, which that's another conversation. But when a sister's dating outside of her race, oh, everybody got something to say. They judging her and they judging the man too. Like, what does he see in her? Why would he be
Right.
with her? And once again, black women, we can analyze so much about our looks. Oh, he likes that, and she's not pretty enough. And I mean, it's just so tired and
Mm-hmm.
played out.
Mm-hmm.
And FY, she's a beautiful girl. So whatever,
And she
but
is.
I just think it's just so outdated. And I think it's ridiculous that this still shocks people. Who cares? Let people do them. Let people live their
We
best
don't
life.
let people be with who they want to be with.
Exactly. It's like, I mean, who cares? We need to do better. That's all I have to say with that. We really need to do better because this is so insignificant. But it's a shame that we had to bring it up because people made such a big deal about it, and it's just not that serious. So we can shift gears and go to, and I'm sorry whoever gets offended by me saying this, but the Cheeto in chief, because I'm sorry, my president is named Barack Hussein Obama. He's probably on vacation somewhere, living his best life, wearing khakis. Like I wrote a Facebook post the other day saying, well, my president is probably somewhere relaxing, wearing cargo khakis. I can only dream of when he was in office. But right now, we do have the Donald, the apprentice, and the impeachment did not go the way that I think a lot of us were hoping. But we're in a strange state of affairs right now. I've had so many mixed feelings just about this whole presidency. I was one of the people that thought he had no chance in hell of winning at all. And then, of course, never say never. Then, once he got elected, I was one of those people that said, there's no way he would get a second term. Now, I'm starting to get worried. I'm not going to lie. I just, I'm very concerned. Let's put it that way. I don't have this confidence anymore. Like, oh, well, there's no way, because we can't ever assume. And I noticed that his followers, they're serious. I mean, I'm in the Democratic Party, even though I will vote for whoever is the right person. Um, I can't even say as a Democrat have I ever seen us go this hard for anybody. I mean, I will give him that. I mean, he can't do any wrong. We will. They just won't admit, some of them, that he's done wrong, or they'll just sit there and justify it, or they just don't care. And I don't think we've ever had anyone in our party that we just was like, he can't do no wrong, because we know, please, it's oh my God, Barack Obama didn't even get that. So this is just a strange state of affairs.
I think that'll be our downfall. Unfortunately, our need to always have it be squeaky clean, because they have made it, dirty. And so what they have done, I don't think it's even necessarily about, do they agree with it? Do they not know deep down that he's wrong? They have adopted the policy that you get behind the guy. Period.
Right.
You fall in line, you fall in rank, and that's it. And until we in the Democratic Party get on that bandwagon, we might find ourselves losing for a long time to come.
I think we will. I think we will, because we will not. So we don't have that same level of support, and I don't know if that's good or bad. Okay, but what I will, and this is just my opinion from what I've observed, that party, they ride or die. They some, oh my God, like, it just doesn't matter to them. And maybe, I know with our party we aren't like that. Like I said, and I don't know if that's good or bad. Right now, in the current state that we're in, it's bad. Because if we truly want to make a difference in November, we gotta do something better. We gotta come up with a game plan. Because right now, I don't have that confidence. I really don't. And
I'll tell you, people are still getting mad at Hillary because she said Bernie should have fallen in line. But it's true. Like the fact that people are still getting mad at her, oh, Hillary, blah, 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 that lets me know we still haven't learned the lesson, because she's right.
Here's my thing. Here's my problem.
Just like Rubio and all the rest of them. Donald Trump talked about their mamas, their wives, their children. They have much more of a leg to stand on to say forget him than Bernie did of Hillary. Yet when it was time, they conceded, got in line, got behind them, and they moved on. And it's how they won. And until we get that, we may find ourselves behind the gun for a while to come, because they got it now. They know now. Get behind the guy.
Well, here's the problem. The fact that when, fast forward a few years ago, when this election was taking place, and we had this man, I don't speak his name, he was the front runner for that party, and we had Hillary. And people within our party, I don't know. I don't trust. I'm sitting there like, are you kidding me? Do you hear? What? I couldn't stomach when people were just like, oh, we got to choose between her and it's the lesser of two evils. If I could tell you how many people said that, and I wanted to strangle them. Like, no, it's not the lesser of two evils. I don't care what you feel about her. We had... Right, I just felt like, why did we have to do that? I mean, all that negativity that was taking place, which is why we lost, because everyone was like, oh, well, and her and her husband, and that was not the time for that. And I feel like that's where we are now. Once again, one thing I will say, though, about Hillary and Bernie, now, mind you, once again, I'm slightly biased because I was feeling the burn. However, when he didn't make it as the primary candidate, what I personally wanted to see, okay, as a voter who she got my vote, but it was never a doubt in my mind but like I said, I also felt the burn. Regardless, the other person, like I said, I don't speak that person's name. He's Cheeto to me. He wasn't getting my vote regardless, but what I wanted to see personally was after she became, the front runner, I wanted to see her and Bernie figure out a way to come together, because what I will say, I feel like he still didn't, I think some people love to hate him, and I know some people have mixed feelings about him, but for me, I feel like he could have got more props. I don't think people expected him to go as far as he did. I don't think people expected him to actually be taken that seriously. That being said, he proved that, okay, I did have a voice. I did have my followers. I think he had enough followers that I wish I could have saw them to come together some type of way before everyone got to those polls. I think that would have helped. I think a lot of people that were following him, once he did not make it, I think a lot of them actually didn't vote, period. I think they were just, because a lot of people didn't like her. Right, and that's the only thing I wish, but once again, that goes back to what we just said about our Democratic Party. We not working together the way these other people are, and maybe, we need to, because right now, we need to do something. And we're not in a good position right now. And that's the part that's really scary and sad. And if only we would put a lot of this stuff away, put it to the side, we would be in a better position. But, unfortunately.
And I think you brought up something else that echoes a subject we've been talking about for quite a few times now, and that's women. I think it was easy for people to vilify Hillary as a woman. Oh, let her too evil. How in the heck, in this political game, do you get Hillary Clinton as one of the evils?
Right.
It was beyond me to comprehend what they really meant by that. Like, whether the Benghazi thing, because even with that, she sat in testimony for 11 hours, said straight up, looked folk in the eye, this man can't produce his taxes, he can't sit down with anybody and explain anything worth anything, and somehow she's the lesser of two evils. And I think it just goes back to our society's willingness to vilify the woman.
Right, it's all because she was a woman.
The woman is the temptress, the woman is too emotional, the woman is to blame,
right.
And it worked.
Correct. She was a woman, and that's where a lot of that stemmed from, plain and simple. And a lot of, as we saw, majority of women put this man in office. So women, and that's the sadder part too, that some women we don't even support each other.
Absolutely.
Which is, absolutely sad.
I believe a woman should do it, but not that woman. Like,
yeah, I mean, come on. It's just sad that people couldn't see the bigger picture, unfortunately.
And poor Hillary, like, I just feel like, I know she felt like, what did I do to be on the same line as the pussy grabbing, mentally handicapped, making fun of, talk about people's wives and call them dogs, lying man. How did I get on that line?
I agree.
No one really has an answer for it.
There is no answer. There's definitely no logical answer. I agree. There is no answer, and there's definitely no logical answer, and it is absolutely sad. Well, I'm very, I hope we can do better right now. I debate about this a lot. Like, one of my friends, we talk about politics almost every day. Currently, I just don't have that confidence, and I just would like to have the same level of confidence and just excitement about the next 4 years. It would just be great to have that feeling, and it's just going to take a lot. So all we can do is sit back and see what happens. I will say whoever gets the Democratic nomination, I am voting for them. I'm sorry. That's just
yes.
I have no
Whether it's
qualms about saying
elbow.
that. Right, I have no qualms about saying that. I mean, I'm obviously going to vote against, this other person because I don't agree with
Mhm.
anything he says. And I truly feel in my heart he is a racist. That's my opinion. Okay. And
Mhm.
that's not even up for debate because I've said it since day one. He said too much to show that. And all these reports saying he's
Mhm.
done so much for African Americans, whatever. Next, like, he hasn't done anything. Okay. So, but
Right.
insult us every time he can, and then the way when he used to, when he began referring to us as the blacks, he lost me. Okay, he could never gain my respect. Period. So we can leave that at that. So
Right.
I want to go ahead and wrap up our current events episode. I really enjoyed doing this, and we definitely will make a point to because I want to keep it light sometimes. Recently, actually, this past Wednesday, I did another podcast recording at the Holy Cross University in the West Bank. It was an awesome experience. Miss Adrena Winfrey, she is the owner and operator of Aaron's Nest. It is a shelter for battered women. She has an awesome testimony. If anyone gets a chance, please go to my Instagram page, Queens LA underscore collection. I have all the information on listening. I have a live podcast recording actually where I tried to record her entire seminar presentation. It is extremely powerful. In addition, she did 2 sessions. In between those 2 sessions, we also sat down because I had to sit with her immediately. We sat down in the middle of the whole reception area to also do a one-on-one domestic violence interview. So we just, got more personal. But if anyone gets a chance, just go there. You'll see the links. And if you go to her page, I have all her information. She has an awesome testimony, and that is just a great cause and much needed. And it was a conversation that definitely needed to happen. I think domestic violence is still something that's very taboo. And I've talked about my own past experiences. I mean, I was in a domestic violence situation for a long time, way longer than it should have been, but it is what it is. So we definitely talked about just surviving and moving past. So that's something I just definitely wanted to mention before we wrapped it up. But I like once again, like I said, this I love doing the current events episodes as me and Courtney brought up because it's lighthearted, even though every week it's something. But the world keeps spinning,
Mhm.
so it's just good to just have something lighthearted where we just talk about what's going on, just getting our opinions on it. So once again, if anyone has any questions, all our contact information is on the Instagram page for myself, Miss Courtney. If you have any questions, you can also inbox us. But one thing I will say, we don't do cancel culture. So we're not with that.
Please.
So we do honest
And
conversations, and we know how
if
to
you
debate.
need any inspiration or some
Yes, we
time in a
do
bad day, just
positivity.
Google
We don't do
Travis
cancel
Kelce.
culture. And we do know how to disagree in a positive way and in a respectful way. Hint, hint. So just to throw that out there.
Right.
But once again, everyone be blessed. And me and Courtney, we're gonna have some more interesting episodes coming up soon. And I'm gonna work on having some nice little tweaks so we can make the Q chat even better. Once again, it's still growing. I want to say this is my 11th or 12th episode, which that's a big accomplishment for me. Sorry. This came up in August. It just occurred to me, and we've been
Yay!
recording even more. So I'm very blessed. Every single person from Miss Courtney to Adrena to Miss Tamara to every single person that has helped me, has recorded with me, who's followed, whatever you've done to contribute to this, I truly, sincerely appreciate it. It is a work in progress. I guarantee maybe a few months or even a year from now, I'm going to listen to some past episodes and oh wow, and see the growth, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So I just wanted to thank everyone that has been very supportive. This isn't about self glorification. This is just something that we want to do with the brand that I am trying to build with Go Queen Privilege Prize Package, but also just to have honest conversations where people can feel like they do have a place they can turn to where they can just talk about anything and not be judged and just be comfortable. So that being said, I want to say goodbye, and I'll let Courtney say goodbye too. Say bye, Courtney.
Goodbye. Thank good about Travis Kelce if you need any kind of inspiration.
And if Travis Kelce, if he ever, I'm all for love, but if he ever finds himself, having some issues and him and his beautiful sister breaks up, come holler at us, sister. I'm sitting right here in Slidell. I'm single, boo. I'm dating, but I don't have a ring on my hand. I'm here for you. So
I know that's right.
on that note, thank you guys for listening to the Cute Chat, and we'll be back soon. Goodbye.